the most gorgeous girl of all.
Hello!
Hey guys, so part of the partnership that I've created on this channel means that I get to bring people in that know a little bit more about certain things than maybe I do.
I got another idea. Let's play What Happened to the Warners.
What happened to them?
And instead of trying to convince you that, well, I know these things, sometimes it's better off to let an expert take charge. So, while I love Animaniacs, I'm gonna let someone come in who loves them even more.
Thanks, Tyler. I am so excited to be doing this. My name's Drew, and I'm here to tell you about the genius of Animaniacs. Animation plays a fundamental role in our understanding of comedy, as it is often the first time we, as children, are introduced to the concept of humor being delivered through narrative. It is a rich landscape where vibrant artwork collides and amusing and surreal storylines designed to make us think, laugh, and feel in ways that we are unable to access in our day-to-day activities. These storylines are laden and often saturated with visual jokes, physical humor, and rapier wit.
Now find your seats!
Got my seat.
Got mine.
Here's mine.
They will form the building blocks of a sense of humor that we will carry with us for the rest of our lives. There isn't an animated show that does this quite as well as the Animaniacs. Animaniacs transcends the generational divide that is often present when it comes to animated shows tailored for children. The show achieves its broad appeal by rooting the frenetic and wacky behaviors of its ensemble cast of lovable lunatics into one simple concept: reality. Animaniacs is a show about real life, told through the lens of absolute ridiculousness. At its core, Animaniacs is an absurd and hyperactive series of vignettes which, at times, almost feels like it's closer to Saturday Night Live than it is to a more traditional animated series. Each episode is stuffed with jokes that range from low-hanging toilet stuff
Excuse me. Go around the other way. I have to potty!
to some extremely highbrow and even adult humor.
I found prints.
No, fingerprints.
I don't think so.
Every segment takes a little bit of time establishing a base reality before launching into wacky antics. An example of this is how Pinky and the Brain always begin with the mice back in the lab and in their cage, before revealing their world domination plans. This moment almost never lasts more than 2 to 3 minutes in any given Pinky and the Brain episode, but it's absolutely essential to the humor that comes later. The Warners are consistently interacting with human beings and celebrities as well. The Warners' hijinks often come at the expense of well-known people who actually existed, from Michelangelo to William Shatner.
Bob, black
Animaniacs isn't set in some random forest or a nondescript farm somewhere. It's set in Burbank, California, a very real place in a very real world. Every character has their own bit or game, as some might call it. We have the Warner siblings, Yakko, Wakko, and Dot, who sort of serve as our guides to the Animaniac universe. When they aren't preoccupied with their own stories, they are there to break the fourth wall and add a layer of context to the material presented so that it can be understood by basically anyone with the cognitive capacity to follow a story. There's a little of each Warner in all of us, and that's what makes them such efficient stewards of our viewing experience. Yakko is confident, quick-witted, and sharp. Wakko is indulgent, impulsive, and lazy. Dot is responsible, kind, and often the voice of reason through the show's chaos. The supporting cast is full of characters that feel oddly familiar to us, as they are presented almost as a pastiche of various character tropes, which are surprisingly adult in nature. In fact, a lot of the characters here are based on films and actors that were popular with people who would have been raising their children in the 90s. Pinky and the Brain, two lab rats hellbent on world domination with a heavy-handed nod to Orson Welles.
What are we gonna do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Good Feathers are a parody of the Mafia films in the 90s, as portrayed by Joe Pesci, Ray Liotta, and Robert De Niro.
Now I'm a heavy hitter. I'll give you a heavy hit in the head. Here, take that. I'll give you big. I'll give you
Slappy Squirrel is a disgruntled former cartoon star whose entire attitude is an homage to Laverne and Shirley's Penny Marshall.
Gotta watch my figure. Hey, somebody's gotta watch it.
Rita and Runt are essentially the Abbott and Costello of the bunch.
What's a human good for anyway?
They pet you when you're sad.
They smack you when you're bad.
When you couple this postmodern take on familiar tropes with such a wide range of comedic styles, you ensure that your show can be enjoyed by anyone. Kids can be drawn to the more overt sight gags and wacky antics, while adults will be able to appreciate the show's incredible wordplay and more nuanced written humor. It's an incredibly difficult line to walk, and Animaniacs seems to be able to do it in a way that almost seems effortless. With every character, Animaniacs makes a promise to its viewer, and always follows through on that promise. We are promised that the Warners are going to get the best of Ralph the security guard. We are promised that Buttons is going to save Mindy from certain danger. We are promised that Pinky and the Brain are going to have their plans foiled. Mime Time is going to result in a mime getting injured. Chicken Boo is going to be Chicken Boo. The consistent fulfillment of these promises made to us by the writers of Animaniacs creates an almost anticipatory response during the title cards of each segment. With each episode filled with anywhere between 3 and 5 segments, we get a consistent and repeated feeling of excitement and anticipation, which is followed through on every time. It's an incredibly rewarding thing to experience. We know what to expect at almost every turn of Animaniacs, and it's this level of familiarity that makes watching an episode feel so great. The show is like watching someone do the same Mad Lib over and over again in the sense that we know where all the blanks are, but have no idea how the writers intend to fill them. It's exciting, fun, and engaging. With the Warners, we know that a human is going to present them with some type of problem or obstacle. Blank 1. We know that Warners will attempt to solve this problem or obstacle. Blank 2. We know that eventually the human character is going to become crazed with frustration over having to deal with them. Blank 3. We are often treated to a musical number of some sort. An optional 4th blank, if you will. We know where our characters are going to end up, but the fun is in how we get there. Animaniacs is truly about the journey, not the destination. The show lets you know it too. There's a carefree attitude behind every episode, which really adds to the hilarious escapism it provides for us. Unlike the Looney Tunes, in which every character seemed to be confined to the same endless loop of predictable behaviors, characters in Animaniacs were driven by diverse perspectives, objective opinions, and philosophical points of view. That's really where the soul of Animaniacs lives. When you look at a Looney Tunes cartoon like, let's say, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, it's pretty cut and dry. The coyote fails at killing the Roadrunner, and then everyone goes home. Yes, it's classic, and yes, it's hilarious, but there's no real depth here. When you look at an Animaniacs episode, you can see that each individual segment is driven by deeply philosophical and emotional choices made by the characters. Yakko Warner sings songs about the meaning of existence. The Hip Hippos are about high society and classism and fitting in.
You have such a quaint lower-class look to you.
Shoot me!
Pinky and the Brain is a story of power, greed, and narcissism. Slappy Squirrel is about aging and callousness in the face of youth and endless optimism. Chicken Boo is about a chicken boo.
He did it!
Animaniacs takes the essence of slapstick cartoons, the mallet smashes, the dynamite, all the over-the-top, delightfully absurd, and completely insane sight gags, and combines them with fully developed characters that we can connect with on an emotional and philosophical level. Animaniacs is a true reminder of how artistically deep a children's cartoon can be, while at the same time being hilarious, irreverent, and wild. We get drawn in visually with these catching, familiar-looking characters, we laugh at the slapstick humor, our minds are stimulated by the show's wit, we are dazzled by a variety of musical numbers, and we are satisfied time and time again. Animaniacs is a show about human existence told through a variety of different lenses. Each lens gives us a look into various elements of life that we experience every day and takes them to hilarious extremes to the point of it being almost therapeutic to watch at times. It reminds us that sometimes the best thing for you to do when things start to seem daunting is to stop taking things so seriously and start having fun. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. It's been really fun doing this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you're a fan of Nerdstalgic, why not subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any future Nerdstalgic content.
Good night.